Now that we've given the service advisor everything they need to work with, let's tap on the work order button, move back to the work order, find the inspection that we're working on, tap on the Smart Chat bubble to submit this to the service advisor, and then being we're completely done with the inspection, I'm going to tap 100% complete, and I'm going to continue as a technician working on other items that I have to work on. Let's go through and do some editing on our repair order. I'm going to come up here and left click on the link, move up on the screen a little bit more. I can see the technician submitted the inspection results. I'm going to left click on the inspection report. I'm going to come down and look at the different pictures that are here. I'm going to left click. And in this case, I can see that this is information about it. The technician is actually not marked it failed. So what I'm going to do is decide based on this picture and the next one, which one I'm going to use. So in this case, the technician has put an arrow pointing right directly to it. He's described what he has, so I'm going to approve his notes. The arrow's in a good place. I don't want to send anything to the customer upside down, so I'm going to click on the rotation tool. I'm going to rotate it till I have it in the proper orientation for the customer. I'm going to click on apply. I'm going to move to the next picture. In this case, I can see that he's taken a picture of the battery tester and he's put a red arrow on there, so I want to turn that one off. I don't want to show the customer that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to this icon. It's been marked good, so it's automatically going to default to green. I'm going to left click on the arrow. I'm going to drag it over and I'm going to point it right directly to good. And we're going to do this so we get the customer, just like a traffic signal, to start getting in the mindset green, yellow, red. So that way on subsequent visits, we're actually stepping them along in the process. I'm going to click apply. I'm going to move to the next picture. I don't need to show this one anymore. I'm going to look at the next picture, look and see what the technician's done. Actually, he's got an arrow in the appropriate spot. That's really good. He's got a lot of good notes up there. I'm going to read through the notes. That looks like he's done a really good job. A good job here also. And again, as I've went through here, I've made sure that one's turned off. I don't want to show the customer anything that doesn't make sense. I'm going to move on to the next one. I can see this is already turned off and the tech's got a lot of good notes there, and this tech is always good about putting arrows there, so I'm going to go ahead and read through his information here. I'm going to mark this one approved. I'm going to read down through the notes here. He's done a great job here also. I'm going to move on to the next one. Now here we've got some information up on the top where the technician has actually marked some measurements. And I'm going to look over here, and you know what? He's got an arrow pointing right directly to it, but I can't show that because this topic is marked future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. See, it's marked there. It's close to the end of its life. I'm going to actually show the dimensions. And I'm going to come down here and turn it on so it can be seen. I'm going to approve these notes because he did a good job on it. I'm going to come over here and click here to add an arrow. And now, because this is marked for a future service, I'm going to rotate this arrow around. And I'm going to add a second arrow so that way the customer can see I'm pointing to the brake pad thickness between the two arrows. Again, I want to be fully informational for the customer. I'm going to press the left arrow, or excuse me, the right arrow, and go on to the next picture. And again, I don't need to see that any longer. I'm going to move on to this picture here. Looks like the technician did a pretty good job on that, but let's see what he did with the arrow. And he's got a nice arrow pointing right directly to it, so I'm going to mark this approved. These are customer-facing notes on the inspection topic line. And I'm going to mark these approved because he's done a good job here also. I'm going to press next. And in this case, this is going to be the information that is on the video itself. And you can see in this area that there's no picture here because we don't edit the video here. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just mark this approved because this is the note that I want to be on the video. I'm going to press next. I can see that I've got no more notes to approve because now it's on 0. And I'm going to press close. As I go down through the inspection sheet, I'm going to look through here, and if I had any notes that weren't approved, they'd be grayed out. And I'm going to keep scrolling down through here, and I'm going to look at my video, and I want to take you through a little bit of video editing. So I'm going to left click on the video to open it up. I'm going to look at the video and just give you a quick way to edit. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the end point on the video. I don't want it to start playing until it gets there, so I'm trimming some off of the beginning. I'm going to come over here and trim a little bit off the end. And I'm going to come in here about the middle and say, I want my notes to be coming on at this particular time. I'm going to go ahead and mark cut. So it's going to cut it to that length. And then I'm going to mark approve. And now I should be ready to go. So if you've been following along, I'm going to press the view button and let's take a look at it. So in this case, what I'm going to do is come down here and do a little quality control check. Here's our information we had on there. Here's our battery that's turned right side up, and we have our group size on it now. We come down in here into suggested for service. You can see the arrow pointing to the low fluid. And again, this is just as suggested at this time because it's not in the danger zone, but we do require or suggest that they do a brake inspection and so on. I'm going to come down here also to the brake pads. You can see that this is showing them where the arrows are pointing. Very descriptive. Come down a little bit further. I'm going to click on and read our notes on the belt. Again, highly educational to the customer. And we're going to come down and make sure our video is ready to play and it's trimmed.